Hello, and welcome to your update about the GBP/USD Forex pair. So, this chart is in a long-term downtrend. We start on the monthly and then take a look at these smaller time frames afterwards. Overall, it's a long-term downtrend and we could be close to a low. However, it might still take years before this chart bottoms. Disregard the timeline and where they are placed, the labels, they are just labels. It is entirely possible that a major low formed already in this larger A wave. I mean, the move down, you can technically count it as complete, is possible, but it's not high confidence because until we really see more evidence that a substantial low has formed, any, let's say, ideas about a substantial low to have formed, they are just like, I don't know, hopium. Yeah, they're not well founded, right? Because this is multi-decade downtrend. Surely it's not going down in a straight line, but it's going down. And what we can do is, to get a better understanding of where it might go, we take from the high, which formed here in 72, go down, we measure the length of the A wave, we go to the high of the B wave, and then we're looking for the 100% extension. I mean, it's not that it has to go there, but this would be a very common target. I mean, it doesn't have to go exactly there at 0.84, yeah, 0.842, but it is where we are watching, where we're going to watch for it, right? This is if there is another low, this would be next support. Yeah, this would be next support. I mean, overall on this chart, the 1984 low plus the 2022 low, they should offer some support. That's around 1.04 USD, just roughly in that area. But if there is another low as per the yellow scenario, so in the white count, a low could be in a multi-decade low, whereas in the yellow count, I can see the potential for another low because the market has not rallied yet in an impulse and it's all only corrective at the moment. Yeah. So, but that's the higher, bigger time frame, larger time frame. Larger time frame is certainly not clearly bullish yet. I think we're getting close to low, but then you have to understand that this is like a, multi-decade history. So if I talk about it could be close to a low, I could still take years compared to like, the 60 years plus that we're looking at here, or 50 years plus. So overall downtrend. But because this correction is typically a three-wave move, and this is already an A, B, C, and the C wave might be complete, maybe one more low. Again, we're in the late stages of that decline, I believe. At least based on chart analysis. At the same time, I cannot confirm yet that a reversal has been made. Now, let's go to the weekly chart. And the weekly chart, I mean, the idea is that this is a C wave down. The question is, has it bottomed already? Then this would be a nice, five-wave move down, which already, can be called complete in a diagonal here, yeah. Whereas in the yellow scenario, because we haven't reached that ideal target, the 100% extension, we might call the C wave still as unfolding, and it would be 1, 2, third wave counted slightly differently. And the best interpretation I have found, one scenario at least that I find is quite reasonable, is the idea of an unfolding triangle pattern. Of course, we don't really have evidence for a triangle, and it's a bit speculative, but I think it's reasonable. It might change. Triangles often change, but one way how this could extend is through a triangle A, B. The B wave did overshoot to the downside in that case. They can do that. C wave, D wave, E wave. That would require probably several years more of sideways action, unfortunately, before we go down. Okay, so the wave 4 triangle, we talk about them both in detail. But what I can certainly not yet confirm is a substantial low. It would only be a potential. I can't confirm it because looking at the microstructures, the rally was in 3 waves only. We take a look at that in a minute. But yeah, if there is one more low, I mean, this triangle is relevant. We might even have this trend line here. It's just a bit speculative, of course. Could add it to the chart. There's no trend line here that we can define down there, but still we might watch for it. Okay, like that. Okay, now let's go to the daily time frame. And I mean, whenever we have a low in place, or a potential low. We're watching for a 5-wave move up. Now I can't identify a 5-wave move up yet. It's just not possible. At least not in my interpretation. So I see this as a 3-wave move up only. So whether this is really going to be a triangle or not, I don't see the potential. I mean, the potential is there, it's bottomed, but it just can't be confirmed. So until I get a proper 5-wave move, this would be speculative. But we talk about support levels. So looking at this, it is possible to see this move up just simply as a wave. A second. Yeah. Just need to change the wave degree. And it could be like this, actually. 1 second. So just thinking about, okay, where, what would be a way how this triangle could form. And this here, it's not a clear 5-wave move to me. I mean, you might want to, see that as a 5-wave move. It's possible. Just here, yeah. But the overall context makes this questionable. But then it might be worth watching for support next, yeah. So I don't think, based on what I see here, that the price will go directly to new lows. Well, it could do, but I'd rather expect sideways action in a triangle pattern. So we're going to take a look at the microstructures in a minute, but let me explain. A C wave in a triangle tends to be a complex correction. So the way this is charted now allows for it as a flat correction, where an A wave topped. This here would be an overshooting B wave, and we could see this potentially. Okay, now this would allow me to identify a support area for this B wave. And we can do that. We can define support for wave B. This means as long as we're holding above it, the market should move higher short term in wave C of C. Yeah, I would watch for support in this region. We can take a look at the microstructure in a minute, but that is one reasonable interpretation. A, B, C. And $1.20, $1.16.6, $1.13.4, and 1.089 are the relevant support levels. This is where the buyers ideally should step in. That means in a very short term could go lower before it goes higher. I mean, alternatively, the C wave might have topped already. But even then, this D wave should find support there, which is why I find that quite an interesting support area, right? So this is something to watch for. And I mean, from a bullish point of view, if we've really bottomed, but I find that speculative, because this is not a clear 5-wave move up, then we could be dealing with a 1-2 setup. So this means there are basically 3 scenarios that allow for the price to find support in this region. It might be worth watching for it. Okay, but I just haven't bought yet that idea that we've bottomed. When would I confirm that? Or when would I believe the market has really bottomed? I think if the market finds support, I mean, even in the correction scenario, in the extended scenario, the price should find support here. So, I mean, okay, nothing's guaranteed, right? But that would be the assumption based on what we see now. So if it then finds support, rallies, and breaks above the recent high, because that would invalidate the triangle as it is. That would shift the scenario further towards the white count. Then we need 5 waves, 3 waves down, and then we can go. But I don't confirm at this stage that we're there yet. So this would give you support, and it seems like at least a C wave down has started. So let's go to the shorter time frame. So I mean, on the shorter time frame chart, we see that this correction is unfolding. What I think we need to consider is that obviously as a C wave down, this would be a 5-wave move, right? So we could see this in this move down in the beginning as wave 1, wave 2, and then my interpretation would be that the third wave is still unfolding. We should get a 4 and a 5. But we can look at the micro in a minute. Best would be actually if this third wave, I think, gets another low. And then it would complete this move in a 5-wave pattern. Then we need to see, is this actually going to be the low? I think the chance is there. Looking at the micro. Yeah, so this would be a 1, 2. And then we can say we have here another 1, 2, smaller time frame. This could be like a 3, 4, 5. So one way, if we label it like that, though, you see straight away the wave 1 must not overlap with wave 4. So I think the better interpretation would be like this. Even though it looks a bit messy, but this is a valid wave count because we avoid an overlap between waves 4 and 1. And this means we could still be in circle 3. This here looks like like an ending diagonal to me, best I can tell. And while there is a 5-wave move down already, I think it would look best as a diagonal because this internal move down is quite short. So I would at the moment, ideally, like to see one more low. But this is really just the micro. I mean, it's I don't do a lot of Forex counting, but I know they are quite messy on the micro. So when would we say the larger fourth wave, circle 4, has begun? Probably with a break above the 61.8 retracement. So any break above 1.258. That would then suggest we're already in circle 4. And that allows me to define resistance for circle 4, which is slightly higher than in that case. Just that here properly. Yeah. So this would be resistance for circle 4. This means this wave count is valid as long as we are below 1.277. Yeah. Only a break above 1.277 would suggest that, yeah, something's not right. This structure is shifting. Yeah. And for now, I would track a 5-wave move down. It doesn't look entirely complete. So I think it might need another 4-5 pattern down. Maybe even in circle 3, it could get another leg down, even though we only talk here about the last leg down on the micro. But that should give you the resistances and also relevant support levels. If it forms another low in wave 5 or 5 of circle 3, I mean, there is some structural support in this region here around 1.229. And then for one more low, support is around 1.21, 1.20, and then obviously the Fibonacci support here. So I hope that helps. This means we probably will see more sideways action on the macro level, my view, over the years. We could get more downside in the, let's say, medium term, and then upside, but it's all part of this correction. But this support area could be an opportunity. I mean, not sure how you trade this, but it could be an opportunity here to watch for either a C wave up, or the third wave even though this white scenario would need to prove itself. I hope that helps. Let me know if there are any questions. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.